Welcome to my channel. My name is Ria, and in this video we are going to go over your horoscope for your particular sign, right, for the month of July. So before we get started, I just want to mention that this is for your sun and rising sign. So if you know your sun sign, that's great. If you know your rising sign, then watch your rising sign and then your sun sign. We are going to go in the order starting with Aries, finishing with Pisces, and I will also put timestamps in the description box so you can click on your sign and watch your horoscope for the month of July. So let's get started with Aries. Right, Aries, now a lot is happening in the month of July, so let's talk about those things. But before we talk about July, I want to talk about the end of June, right? Because two important events happened at the end of June. One, Neptune went retrograde, and two, we had a new moon in Cancer, both on 28th June. So really close to July. So Neptune is the planet of spirituality and confusion, and whenever it's direct, which it has been up until June 28th, there's a certain degree of confusion, right? So for you Aries, Neptune has been transiting your 12th house, right? And the 12th house is to do with your subconscious mind. It's to do with closing out the past. It's also the house of spirituality, and if drugs, delusions, addictions apply to you, then those as well. So with Neptune going retrograde on 28th June in your 12th house, you might have started to get more clarity associated with these matters, right? Maybe you've been trying to address the past in a certain way, but with Neptune going retrograde, it becomes easier for you, and you say, yeah, you know what, this is what happened, this is what bothered me, and now I'm kind of over it. So it clarifies things pertaining to that house when Neptune goes retrograde. So that was June 28th, an important event. So more clarity when it comes to your spiritual practices. Maybe you'll be able to figure out, what is it that you want to do spiritually? Is it meditation? Is it yoga? Is it something else? Or maybe more clarity on the past, right? And that helps you release the past. Maybe it's also the house of drugs, delusions, addictions, depression, right? Since it is the house of delusion and Neptune is there, this can really just impact overall clarity, right? You might be thinking more clearly. Your subconscious thoughts, your mind may be more clear with Neptune retrograde since June 28th. And on June 28th, we also had a new moon in the sign of Cancer in your 4th house, Aries. And as we enter the month of July, right, you will be working on that energy. And in your 4th house, new moons bring with them new energy. So there was new energy in your house of home and family and your foundation and your emotions. And on a new moon, the energy seeds itself. So that's where the new energy seeded itself, in your home, in your family, in your deepest emotions. It could also be cooking, right? Maybe you started cooking a little bit more. So things like that. Now let's enter the month of July. So the first important event in the month of July happens on 5th July. Both Mars and Mercury are going to change signs, right? So Mercury is going to enter your 4th house. It's going to enter the sign of Cancer, and Mars is going to enter the sign of Taurus, your 2nd house. Now Mercury is our logical mind, right? It's our thoughts, it's our thinking, and wherever Mercury transits, that's where we start to focus our thoughts, our thinking, our communication a little bit more than usual. And for you, that's the 4th house, home, family, foundation, your deepest emotions. So maybe you're thinking a little bit more about these things starting 5th July, right? Before that, Mercury in your 3rd house could have you more focused on things like communicating with your siblings, or changing up your immediate environment. Maybe you're thinking about your social media accounts. Maybe you're thinking about communicating with someone else. But 5th July, this focus shifts. It shifts to your home and family and foundation. So the thinking becomes a little bit more about these things, right? And Mars is going to change signs on the same day and leave your 1st house and enter your 2nd house, Aries. So up until July 5th, the focus for you, right, pertaining to Mars, and Mars is our energy, right? Wherever Mars goes, a lot of our energy goes there. So for you, Mars has been in your first house since May 24th. So since then, there's been a lot of energy connected to you, your identity, who you are, how you see the world, maybe your leadership, all these things, right? That's where you've put a lot of your energy, that's where you've put a lot of your drive, that's where you've been very focused on making things happen. And Mars, it has a 2-year cycle, so it enters a particular house after 2 years, so it's not very common. So after 2 years, it's entered your first house and made you focus on you, made you put your energy on you. And now on July 5th, it's going to enter your second house, giving you the energy, the drive, the initiative, the courage to focus on second house matters, financial matters, right? And it's not necessary, it's financial. It could also be that you start to put your energy into learning a skill. It could also be that you start to take initiative towards maybe changing up something else connected to the second house, like your values or your appearance, things like that. So Mars, wherever it goes, it gives us tremendous energy to focus on matters of that house. And for you, in the month of July 5th onwards, it's the house of finances. That's where the focus is going to be. Now, the next important thing, Aries, is a full moon in Capricorn on July 13th, right? Now, full moon is a completion point. It's a point of clarity. It's where we can see things clearly. And for you, it falls in your 10th house of business and career. So maybe you're completing something connected to your career. Maybe you found more clarity about something connected to a business that you have, or a career project that you have, or your public image and social standing as well. So a lot of focus with the full moon in Capricorn, maybe completions, maybe clarity coming through, connected to your business, connected to your social standing, your career, right? So that's the full moon. And let me just mention real quick, Pluto has been in your 10th house for a long time, right? Since 2008. And Pluto is the planet of transformation. So for a very long time, a lot of your focus has been your career, Aries. It has been your business, your public image, your social standing, all those sort of things. And Pluto is slow transformation. So maybe you've undergone a slow transformation over many, many years in your house of business and career. So that's that. And the next important thing, Aries, happens on July 17th. Now Venus is going to change signs, right? Venus is going to enter the sign of Cancer. Now Venus brings gifts. Venus brings blessings. Venus is a positive energy. It's a very positive energy. And for you, up until July 17th, Venus is in your 3rd house, right? Bringing something positive connected to maybe communicating with someone else. Maybe you've been waiting for a piece of communication and that's come through, right? It could also be that, in the past, up until 17th July, Venus has helped you restructure your office, maybe change up certain things connected to how you keep your immediate surroundings. Maybe something positive connected to your siblings comes through up until 17th July, right? It can also be a blessing, a healing, something positive connected to your mind. Maybe you feel a little bit calmer, maybe you feel a little bit more relaxed, right? So that can also happen. But after July 17th, Venus is going to enter your 4th house. Blessings, rewards, healings, something positive connected to family, connected to your home, connected to your roots, could be your ancestors as well. Now this could be a home situation, or it could be a physical home as well. So something positive coming through, and Venus is going to be in your 4th house till the end of July. So that's what it's going to bring. It could also bring healing to your deepest emotions, right? The 4th house is the deepest part of ourselves as well. So these things can happen. And on July 19th, we have 2 important events, Aries. Mercury will change houses, change signs. It's going to enter Leo now, which is your 5th house. So now the focus again connected to your thinking and communication is going to shift a little bit. It's going to be not as much focused on family and close friends and your emotions and that sort of thing, but now it's about romance, right? The logical mind, the thinking, the communication is more focused on matters of romance, love, children, creativity, hobbies, fun, pleasure, all these sort of things, Aries. So it'll be a subtle shift, right? But there's a lot of energy in your fourth house still, right? Because the sun is there and Venus enters your fourth house. So family is still going to continue as a theme. Family, your emotions, your home, that sort of thing. Now, Chiron is also going to go retrograde on July 19th, and Chiron helps us deal with our wounds by helping us face them. So it heals us, but the process doesn't usually feel very easy. And Chiron has been in your first house for a long time, Aries. And what that means is that you've been trying to heal yourself, right? Because the first house is you in general, it's your identity. It could be something connected to your leadership as well. So you've been trying to heal that, and with Chiron going retrograde, the healing process becomes easier because the pressure to continuously heal kind of eases off. And then on July 22nd, the sun is going to change signs. So up until July 22nd, Aries, the sun, sorry about that. Okay, the sun in your fourth house is illuminating up until July 22nd, your home and family and foundation, right? So up until then, there's a lot of focus on those things. But after July 22nd, the focus is going to shift a little bit more, right? As the sun enters your fifth house for the next 30 days towards romance, towards love, towards creativity, towards hobbies, towards fun, pleasure, that sort of thing. And at the end of the month, Aries, we have a new moon in the sign of Leo, right? So that's when we end the lunar month that we started on June 28th with the new moon in Cancer in your fourth house. So a lot of focus for you in the month of July is on the home and family and your emotions and that sort of thing. And with the new moon in Leo and the sun and Mercury changing signs after say 19th of July, the focus will slowly start to shift to children, creativity, love, romance, and all those things. And with a new moon there, that's when you'll actually seed new energy into your fifth house of love, of romance, of creativity, of hobbies, fun, pleasure, and work on that energy all the way into August. So that's the new moon in Leo for you, Aries. And on the same day, Jupiter is going to retrograde. Now, Jupiter has been in your sign, Aries, since May 10th. And Jupiter is the most benefic planet, right? And in your sign, it's giving you gifts and rewards and healing and positive things connected to you. Now, Jupiter has entered your sign after 12 years. So you can think 12 years ago, the positive events that happened connected to you, certain connections associated that with those events might be there, but generally it's going to bring positivity. But now Jupiter is going to go retrograde in your first house, and when Jupiter goes retrograde, right, even when it's direct, we receive gifts, blessings, and when it goes retrograde, we still receive gifts and blessings, maybe not as much. And for you, it's connected to you, right? It is going to retrograde back into your 12th house as well, but not in the month of July. So we'll talk about that in the coming months when that happens. So in the month of July, with Jupiter going retrograde, blessings, rewards, gifts, healings, lessons will continue, but maybe to a lesser degree. And on July 31st, we have an extremely important event, Aries, right? We have Uranus conjuncting the North Node. Now, this is a rare event. The last time it happened was 2007, so it's not very common. And what Uranus and the North Node bring together is change, right? Tremendous amounts of change. And for you, it's happening in your second house. Taurus is your second house of financial matters, of skills, of values, or what you value, right, of your appearances. So a lot of changes building up all the way up to July 31st, all of July, connected to your finances, connected to financial matters, material possessions, that sort of thing. And that's the month of July. So Aries, a lot of focus on finances with Mars there, with Uranus and the North Node there. A lot of focus specifically this month on your home and family and foundation. Also, your career is going to be highlighted with the full moon on July 13th. So a very important month for you, Aries. So I hope you enjoyed this horoscope. I hope it was useful for you, and if it was, you can share it with someone who you think might benefit from it, or you can like the video or subscribe to my channel if you wish. Now Taurus, welcome. This is the Taurus Sun and Taurus Rising, and let's get started. So I want to talk about two important events that happened in June, and then we'll get into the month of July for you, Taurus. So 28th June, we had a new moon in Cancer. Now Cancer is your third house, right? And new moons bring new energy. They start new things. So on 28th June, you started something new connected to your third house of communication and thinking. So maybe you started communicating with someone. Maybe you started a communication, maybe you sent out an email, or it could also be connected to your social media. It could be connected to marketing. So anything to do with communication, there's new energy there. And up until July 13th especially, but the whole month of July, you will be working on this, communicating, getting your message out, information, exchanging ideas, right? You could also change up your immediate environment. You could change up your office. You could change up your home, that sort of thing as well. Siblings are also highlighted this month for you, Taurus, with the new moon energy. On the same day, Neptune went retrograde, right? And when Neptune goes retrograde, confusion eases off in a certain way. And Neptune has been transiting your 11th house for a while. And in your 11th house, Taurus, with Neptune going retrograde, you might find more clarity about, your social circle, the people you connect with, that sort of thing. Maybe you've been confused about that, but this will give you that clarity with Neptune going retrograde in your 11th house. It can also bring clarity to matters of science, tech, innovation, your hopes, goals, and dreams. Maybe you've been a little confused about what your goals are, right? Maybe there are multiple goals and you're unable to choose, but this can bring clarity to where you want to go, what your vision is as well. And now let's enter the month of July, Taurus. So on July 5th, two important events happen. Mercury enters the sign of Cancer and Mars enters the sign of Taurus. Now Mercury entering the sign of Cancer means it's going to enter your third house. And Mercury is our mind, it's our communication. And wherever it goes, our mind and our thinking and our communication goes there a little bit more than usual. And for you in the third house, there's extreme focus on communicating. Maybe you're communicating a lot more. Maybe you're thinking about communicating with different people, right? Maybe you're reaching out to people that you wouldn't reach out to usually. So that sort of thing. And Mercury is going to be here up until July 19th. And Mars is going to enter your sign. And Mars enters a sign after almost 2 years. So after 2 years, Taurus, it's entering your sign. And what that means is that Mars is an energizer, right? So it's energizing, giving you energy, giving you initiative, giving you drive, giving you courage to work on yourself in your first house, your identity, who you are, how the world sees you, your appearance, that sort of thing. And it's going to be there all of July. So you'll have this energy with you to really focus on you, Taurus, right? So that's July 5th. Then on July 13th, we have a full moon in Capricorn. Now Capricorn for you is the 9th house, and full moons are points of completions and culminations, right? So maybe you're completing something or culminating something or getting clarity on something connected to your 9th house of travel. Maybe you're deciding or planning or thinking about traveling. Maybe you're thinking about learning something. Maybe you're really connecting with foreign lands, right? Because the 9th house is also foreign lands. So maybe you're connecting with that a little bit more, or you're finding clarity on that, or you're completing something that you started a while ago connected to this. It's also the house of publishing. So maybe you're publishing something if that applies to you. I know it does not apply to everyone, but it could be that as well. Or maybe you found clarity on some philosophical questions you might have had in the past. So that's where this energy is happening for you, the full moon in Capricorn on July 13th. On July 17th, we have Venus changing signs. Venus is going to enter your third house. Now Venus gives gifts and blessings and rewards, and up until July 17th, it's been bringing something positive, and it will bring something positive up until July 17th, connected to your financial matters, connected to maybe your value system, connected to your appearance. Maybe maybe you start to see something positive come about financially. Maybe you develop a new financial plan, or maybe you say, okay, you know what, I want to change my appearance and this is what I'm going to do. So it could be something as small as that as well. So that's what Venus in your second house is doing, giving you something positive connected to finances, connected to values and skills and self-worth. Maybe you start feeling positive about yourself. You regain that confidence that you might have not had maybe a few months ago. Okay, and then on July 17th, Venus is going to enter your third house. Now it's going to bring blessings, gifts, rewards, something positive connected to communication, your thinking, your immediate environment, your siblings. Maybe you've been waiting for a piece of communication and that comes through, right? Maybe something positive connected to the immediate environment. Maybe you've been working on it, right? Changing up your office, changing up your furniture, and with Venus there, it actually happens. Or you actually start what you've been planning and thinking, things like that. Maybe something positive with your siblings happens. Maybe you go out for a nice meal, or maybe the relationship is improves in some way, if that applies to you. So something positive connected to the third house for you after July 17th, Taurus. Now on July 19th, we have two important events, right? We have Mercury entering Leo, and we also have Chiron going retrograde. Now Leo is your fourth house, Taurus, right? And Mercury, like I said in the beginning, is our mind and thinking. And after 19th July, the focus of your thinking and communication will be more about the home, more about the family, more about the roots, more about maybe where you come from. Now this could be a physical home that you start talking about or thinking about, or it could be a home situation, right? But that's where your mental energy is going to be focused, the home. Up till July 19th, from July 5th, it's the third house, reaching out to people, communicating, that sort of thing. And Chiron right now is transiting your 12th house. Now Chiron helps us heal. It helps us heal by helping us face our wounds, right? So although it's giving us this healing, it does not always feel very easy. And Chiron in your 12th house is helping you deal with a lot of subconscious wounds. And it has been for quite some time. But when it goes retrograde, that healing process eases off. So in a certain way, the pressure to do that active healing where we face and heal, that eases off. So there's the sigh of relief. But for you, it's very subconscious, Taurus, in your 12th house. And in your 12th house, Chiron can also be helping you close out the past, heal from the past in a certain way. So that's also a possibility. Then on July 22nd, the sun is going to change signs. It's going to enter the sign of Leo, right? Up until July 22nd, the sun is illuminating and highlighting what? Communication, reaching out to people, social media, thinking, talking, writing, reading, siblings, immediate environment for the past 30 days up until July 22nd. After that, the focus is going to be your fourth house, right? That's where the sun is going to come and shine, shine light on that house for you. Home, family, foundation, your deepest emotions, that sort of thing for the next 30 days. So all the way into August, that's going to be illuminated for you, Taurus. Then towards the end of the month, on July 28th, we have a new moon in Leo. Now this is when new energy is going to come into your home, right? Into your family, into your emotions, into how you feel. And you're going to work on that all the way into August, right? Whatever new energy comes into your home, into your family, into your emotions, that's going to be the focus into the month of August, starting end July. And on July 31st, we have an extremely important event, Taurus. We have North Node conjuncting Uranus in your sign. Now, that's a big deal because Uranus and the North Node don't conjunct very often. The last time they met up was 2005, and they're meeting up in your sign, in your first house. And what this conjunction represents is change. So what you're building up to all of July is change connected to you, your identity, how the world sees you, how you present yourself to the world, right? Could be your appearance as well. There's a lot of energy there in your first house connected to you, Taurus, this month. So that's the month in a nutshell for you. And to sum it up, I would say the month begins with a lot of energy connected to communicating with others, reaching out, thinking, writing, reading, maybe connecting with your siblings, maybe changing up your office space. And towards the end of the month, it shifts more to your home and family and foundation. The full moon on July 13th is going to highlight your house of traveling, publishing, learning something new, philosophy, that sort of thing. Tremendous amounts of energy this month in your first house. You can really work on your identity with Mars there. There's energy, there's drive, there's courage after 2 years for you to work on yourself, and there is change happening in that house for you, connected to you, as we build up into the month of July. Towards the end, they conjunct, right? Oh, and Jupiter does go retrograde on July 28th as well, and Jupiter is currently in your 12th house. Now, Jupiter gives gifts, blessings, rewards, and healing, right? And in your 12th house, it's bringing, since May 10th, healing, rewards, gifts, lessons connected to your subconscious mind. But now it goes retrograde, and the blessings, healing, rewards will continue, but maybe to a lesser degree when Jupiter is retrograde. So it will also retrograde back into your 11th house, but not in July, and I will talk about it when it does retrograde into your 11th house. So that's the month in a nutshell for you, Taurus. I hope you enjoyed this monthly horoscope. If you think someone can benefit from it, do share it with them, and if you like this video, do hit the like button. If you want to subscribe to my channel, you can do that as well. So thank you for watching it, and I will see you in one of my other videos. Gemini, welcome to my channel. Now this is for Gemini Sun and Gemini Rising, right? So let's get started. Now before we talk about July, I want to talk about two important events that happen at the end of June, right? We have Neptune going retrograde on June 28th, and on the same day we have a new moon in Cancer, right? So let's talk about those two events, because that's going to set the energy for you as you enter the month of July. Now the new moon in the sign of Cancer falls in your second house, right? And new moons bring with them new energy. So on June 28th, new energy seeded itself in your house of finances, in your house of material possessions, in your house of appearances and self-worth and values and skills, right? And this is what you will be working on all of July. This energy connected to material possessions, finances, skills, etc. Maybe you start learning a new skill, Gemini. Maybe you focus a little bit more on your finances. Maybe you focus a little bit more on acquiring material possessions. So that sort of thing. And Neptune right now is retrograding in your 10th house, right? It starts to retrograde on June 28th. And Neptune has been in your 10th house for a while, and Neptune can bring this confusion, right? So it might have brought with it this confusion connected to maybe work, maybe your career, maybe your business. But since June 28th, right, there can be more clarity connected to your business, connected to your career, because when Neptune goes retrograde, we can see things in a clearer manner. For you, this is connected to your business, this is connected to your career. And that's how we enter the month of July, with these two important events, right? Then let's talk about July now. So on July 5th, we have two important events happening. Mercury is going to enter the sign of Cancer, and Mars is going to enter the sign of Taurus. So let's talk about Mars first. Mars is going to enter the sign of Taurus, your 12th house. Now Mars gives us energy and drive and initiative, and it enters a particular sign, which means a particular house, after 2 years. So after 2 years, Mars, starting July 5th, is giving you tremendous amounts of energy and drive and courage to really work on closing out the past from your subconscious mind, healing from the past in a certain way, maybe, right? The 12th house is also spiritual practices. So it's giving you a lot of energy to maybe start a new spiritual practice, or go deeper into a practice that you already have, or to experiment a little bit with spirituality and creativity. The 12th house is also the house of drugs, delusions, addictions, depression. Now Mars there can help you focus your energy on dealing with these things as well, if that applies to you. Right, so that's what Mars is going to do, give you a lot of energy to deal with matters of the 12th house. After 2 years, it's happening for you. Now, Mercury on the same day enters the sign of Cancer. Now, Cancer is your second house, and Mercury is our mind, it's our communication, it's our thinking. And wherever Mercury goes, right, our thinking, our mind, our communication becomes a little bit more about matters of that house. And for you, it's about financial matters, Gemini. It's about appearances, it's about your skills, right? It's about your self-worth. Maybe you're thinking a little bit more about yourself, your self-worth, how valuable you are. Maybe you're thinking a little bit about, the skills you might want to learn. Maybe you're more focused, more thinking, more communicating more about your finances, right? So that's what's going to happen when Mercury enters your second house on July 5th all the way up till July 19th. Then on July 13th, we have a full moon in Capricorn. And Capricorn for you is your 8th house, Gemini. And the 8th house is the house of transformation. So maybe a lot of transformation going on for you with this full moon, because full moons bring completions. Full moons bring culminations. They are also a point of clarity, right? So maybe you're able to see something clearly, right? A transformation that you might have started in the past, or maybe you're completing a deep transformation that you started a while ago. The 8th house is also the house of intimate relationships and investments and the occult. So maybe something becoming clear about these matters, right? Maybe you can find some clarity on an intimate relationship you have in your life, or maybe you become clear about what you want to learn connected to the occult, things like that. So that's the focus with the full moon in Capricorn for you, Gemini. Now on July 17th, Venus enters the sign of Cancer. Cancer is your second house and Venus is a benefic, right? Up until July 17th, Venus is in your first house. So up until July 17th, it's been giving you something positive connected to you, your identity. If you're in a leadership position, then something connected to that as well. But after 17th July, the positive results, the positivity will be more focused on your financial matters, more focused on your self-worth, more focused on your appearances, maybe, right? Your values, your skills. Maybe you learn a new skill. Maybe you start to feel more confident about yourself after July 17th, or maybe finances improve. So that's what's going to happen when Venus enters your second house on July 17th. On July 19th, Gemini, we have two important events, right? We have Mercury changing signs again. It's going to enter the sign of Leo, which is your third house. And Mercury is going to bring the focus of your mind, your thinking, your communication to matters of communication, right? Maybe you're reaching out to people that you wouldn't reach out to usually. Maybe they're reaching out to you. Maybe you're thinking about communicating with someone, right? Maybe you're thinking about changing up your immediate environment and office space. So that's where the thinking is going to go, towards your third house. If you're into social media, then it can be a lot of thinking and talking about your social media accounts, things like that. And on the same day, Chiron is going to retrograde. Now, Chiron is in your 11th house, and Chiron helps us deal with our wounds, right, by facing them. So it heals us, but the healing process doesn't always feel very comfortable. And for you, Gemini, in your 11th house, it's healing you connected to the wounds of, maybe belonging to a social circle, maybe your social life. It could also be, helping you heal from wounds connected to some goals you might have had in the past, or dreams, or hopes that didn't materialize perhaps. So it's helping you heal in those areas. So that's Chiron. And when it goes retrograde, the healing process eases off, which means we feel a sigh of relief. And for you, it's connected to these areas that I just mentioned, Gemini. Now, towards the latter half of the month, right, the sun does change signs. It enters the sign of Leo. Up until then, it's in the sign of Cancer, your second house. So the sun is an illuminator. It illuminates a particular area of our life for 30 days. And for you, up until July 22nd, that area is your finances. It's your appearance. It's your values. It's your skills, Gemini. After that, it's going to shift into your third house, right? A lot of light, a lot of illumination connected to communicating with others, connected to your mind, connected to your siblings, perhaps connected to your immediate environment, marketing, social media, that sort of thing, right? That's where the sun's going to go and start to bring to light certain matters for the next 30 days, all the way into August. Then on July 28th, we do have a new moon in Leo. Now, this is when the focus that begins on July 19th and then July 22nd, connected to maybe communicating with others, connected to reaching out, or people reaching out to you, or thinking about changing your office or your home or where you work from, or maybe something connected to your siblings. That energy starts to seed itself. Right, there's a new energy coming into these areas for you that you will work on all the way into August, end of August. So that's what the new moon is going to bring. And on the same day, we do have Jupiter going retrograde. Jupiter is in your 11th house right now, and in the month of July it is only going to retrograde in your 11th house. It's been in your 11th house since May 10th, and Jupiter gives blessings, rewards, and healings, right? And for you, that's connected to your social life, the groups that you belong to, your hopes, goals, and dreams, science, tech, innovation, if that applies to you. And when it goes retrograde, the blessings continue, the gifts continue, but maybe to a lesser degree, right? In that area for you especially. And then on July 31st, we have an important event, right? We have Uranus conjuncting the North Node. And this happens quite rarely, and for you this is happening in your 12th house, right? And this signifies change. So there's a lot of change in your subconscious mind. It could be spirituality that changes up drastically for you. It could be matters of drugs, delusions, addictions, depression, addictions that change up drastically with this conjunction building up. And we'll feel the change all throughout the month of July, Gemini. So that's the month in a nutshell for you. There's a lot of energy this month in your second house of finances, which shifts towards communicating, reaching out to others towards the end of the month. The full moon is about transformation. It is about intimacy. It is about investments, and it is also about your psychology. That happens on July 13th for you. Changes building up with the Uranus North Node, connected to your subconscious mind, connected to spirituality in a major way, connected to creativity as well, and drugs, delusions, addictions, if those apply to you, Gemini. So that's the month for you in a nutshell, Gemini. I hope you enjoyed this video. Do share it with someone you think might benefit from this, or hit the like button if you liked it, and you can also subscribe to my channel if you wish. So now I will see you next time. Cancer, welcome. This is the monthly horoscope for the month of July for you. So let's get started. Now, before we talk about July, I do want to talk about two important events that happen at the end of June, right? So the first thing is that there is a new moon in your sign, Cancer, on June 28th, right? So a new moon generally seeds new energy, and there's new energy connected to you, your identity, who you are, how the world sees you. That started on June 28th, and you will work on this energy all of July, right? Connected to you, your identity. And on the same day, Neptune went retrograde, right? Neptune is the planet that can bring confusion, and when it goes retrograde, the confusion gets easier, right? It gets less. So for you, Neptune has been transiting your 9th house. Maybe confusion about what to study, maybe confusion about where to live or where to travel, maybe confusion about philosophical matters or things like the meaning of life. But when Neptune goes retrograde, as it did on June 28th, the confusion gets easier. So if you've been unclear about these things, maybe what to study for the future, maybe where to travel, where to live, philosophy, then clarity will start to come with Neptune retrograde. Now let's talk about the month of July. So on July 5th, we have two important events. Mars changes signs, and so does Mercury. Mars is going to enter your 11th house right after 2 years, and Mars in your 11th house is going to give you tremendous energy, drive, initiative, and courage to be social, right? To focus on your social circle, the groups that you belong to, the organizations that you're a part of, Cancer. It can also give you tremendous amounts of energy to maybe establish new goals and new dreams and new hopes right after 2 years. It can also, if this applies to you, give you a lot of energy to work on science, tech, innovation, activism, that sort of thing. So that's what Mars is going to do all of this month, give you a lot of energy to be social, right? To focus on your dreams, to maybe set new dreams, new hopes, new visions, new goals. And on the same day, Mercury does enter your sign, right? It enters the sign of Cancer, and Mercury is our mind. Wherever it's going, that's where our mind, our communication goes a little bit more. So you might find yourself talking or thinking or communicating a little bit more about yourself. Could be a leadership position as well that you think about or talk about. And this is going to continue till July 19th. Then on July 13th, we have a full moon, Cancer. Now the full moon is in Capricorn, right, which is your 7th house, and full moons are a point of clarity and culmination and completions. So for you, this is in your 7th house of marriage, of your spouse, of your legal relationships, business partnerships, that sort of thing. So maybe you're becoming clearer about these matters, right? Maybe there's something completing itself connected to these matters, connected to your marriage, connected to your business partner, connected to your legal issues. Maybe you're finding more clarity connected to legal issues if that applies to you. But a lot of energy, a lot of completions, culminations, clarity coming through connected to connecting with others, other people in your life, specifically legal relationships. That's the full moon. That's what it is completing for you, something connected to relationships. Now on July 17th, Venus changes signs, right? Venus is going to leave Gemini and it's going to enter your sign. Up until July 17th, Venus has been bringing something positive connected to the 12th house. Maybe it's helping you close out the past in some way, release something connected to the past. Maybe it's helping you adopt a spiritual practice or give you something positive for all the spiritual work you've done. Maybe it's helping you be more creative, right? Up until July 17th. 12th house is also the house of drugs, delusions, addictions, depression. So maybe something positive coming about in these matters if that applies to you, right? But on July 17th, it's going to enter your sign, your first house. Now the positive things will be connected to you, right? Your identity. If you've been eyeing a leadership position, maybe Venus makes that happen, right? Maybe you change up your appearance drastically, Venus in the first house. Maybe you receive something positive connected to you, right? Your identity. So that sort of thing, all the way till end of July. On July 19th, Mercury is going to enter the sign of Leo, your second house. Now your thinking, your communication, your conversations can be more focused about the skills you might want to learn, right? More focused about your financial matters, maybe. More focused about your self-worth. Maybe you start thinking about your self-worth. Yeah, I'm confident. Maybe you say that to yourself. So that sort of thing. And on the same day, Chiron goes retrograde, and Chiron for you, Cancer, is in your 10th house. Now Chiron helps us face our wounds, right? It helps us face our wounds and heal from them. So although it's bringing with it this healing, the healing with Chiron can feel bittersweet, right? So when it's direct, we actively heal, and that can feel slightly challenging. But when it retrogrades, as it does on July 19th, the healing process becomes easier. And for you, this healing has been happening connected to your career, connected to your public image, your social standing, your business, that sort of thing, right? So the pressure will ease off starting 19th July connected to Chiron in that area for you. Then on July 22nd, the sun changes signs, right? Up until July 22nd, the sun is in your first house, in your sign, and the sun is an illuminator. It shines light and brings to focus a certain area of our life, right? And for you, that's been you. That's been your identity, that's been who you are. A lot of focus on you, Cancer, this month. But starting July 22nd and more so on July 28th, when we have the new moon in Leo, the focus is going to be for the next 30 days or so about finances, about your skills, about self-worth, right? About your values. Maybe you start learning something. Maybe you change up your appearance. Maybe you focus more on developing self-confidence. Maybe you focus more on financial matters, that sort of thing. And then we have a new moon in Leo on July 28th in your second house, meaning new energy is going to seed itself connected to financial matters, connected to skills, values, appearances, that sort of thing. And then in the month of August, that's what you will be working on. So that's July 28th, and on the same day Jupiter goes retrograde. Now Jupiter is currently in the sign of Aries in your 10th house, Cancer. That's a good thing. And Jupiter has been there since May 10th, and Jupiter gives gifts, blessings, rewards, and healing, and it's there after 12 years. So since May 10th, it's been doing this, and now it's going to retrograde in your 10th house. So the gifts, rewards, and healings will continue, but maybe not as intensely as they have been. And towards the end of the month, we have the North Node meeting up with Uranus, right? And this is a big deal. It doesn't happen very often. It happens quite rarely. And for you, this is in your 11th house. And what this brings is tremendous change. And what it's bringing change to for you, Cancer, is your social circle, the groups that you belong to, perhaps your hopes, goals, and dreams. If science, tech, and innovation apply to you, then those as well. So that's the month in a nutshell for you, Cancer. A lot of focus this month on you, then it slowly shifts to financial matters towards the end of the month. So I hope you enjoyed this monthly horoscope, and if you think someone can benefit from it, do share it with them. If you liked this horoscope, do hit the like button, and you can also subscribe to my channel if you wish. So now I will see you next time, Cancer. Leo, welcome. Let's talk about what's happening for you in the month of July. But before we get into the month of July, I do want to talk about the month of June a little bit, two important events from the end of June, because they are going to impact the energies of July as well. So the first thing I want to mention is that there was a new moon on June 28th, right? The new moon in Cancer, and that fell in your 12th house. And new moons are seeding points of new energy. So new energy entered into your 12th house of closing out the past, right? Of your subconscious mind, of spiritual practices, of creative pursuits. If drugs, delusions, addictions, depression apply to you, then in those areas as well. And in the month of July, these are the themes that you will be focused on in a subtle way, focused on working, because new energy on June 28th came into that house for you. On the same day, June 28th, Neptune went retrograde. Now, Neptune for you is in your 8th house, right? And Neptune, when it's direct, can bring confusion. But when it goes retrograde, the confusion can ease off. And for you, Leo, that's been in your 8th house of transforming. Maybe you've been confused about how to change, how to start new things, or what to start, or what to end. Maybe there's been confusion about that, Leo. Maybe there's been confusion about intimate relationships in your life, or maybe there's been confusion about where to invest, right? Is this the right business, or is this the right business? Or confusion about occult things. Maybe you're confused about how to study about the occult, or what to learn, or that sort of thing. But the 8th house is primarily complete transformation, and with Neptune there can be confusion about how to transform. So if that's been the case, then clarity will start to come in June, beginning July, connected to how to change, what to end, what to begin. And let's talk about July now. On July 5th, we have two important events, right? Mercury enters the sign of Cancer, and Mars enters the sign of Taurus. So let's talk about Mars first. Now, Leo, Taurus is your 10th house, right? And Mars is an energizer. It enters a particular sign, which means a particular house, almost after 2 years. So in your 10th house, Mars is giving you tremendous amounts of energy, drive, courage, initiative to work on your business, on your public image, on your social standing, that sort of thing, Leo. So you have a lot of energy after 2 years to really, put your head down and work on these things connected to your business and career. And Mercury is going to enter the sign of Cancer, your 12th house. So maybe, and Mercury is our mind, right? So maybe with Mercury in your 12th house, your thinking, your communication, your conversations become a little bit more about letting go of the past. Maybe a little bit more about spiritual things. Maybe a little bit more about creative things. Maybe you're thinking about creative things. It could also be connected to drugs, delusions, addictions, depression as well. So maybe something connected to that you're thinking about, or talking about a bit more with Mercury there all the way up till July 19th. On July 13th, Leo, we have a full moon in the sign of Capricorn, and Capricorn is your 6th house, and full moons are completion points, points of clarity, points of culminations, right? So with a full moon in your 6th house, maybe you're finding clarity on how to set your routine, how to set your day-to-day life. It could also be connected to your diet, to your exercise routine, to your habits. Maybe you're finding more clarity about these things. Maybe you're finding more clarity about your work. The 6th house is also the work. Maybe more clarity about health or something completing itself connected to these matters. Maybe you started a routine a few months ago and now you're really seeing it pay off, really getting comfortable with it, that sort of thing as well. So the full moon is going to highlight your 6th house, Leo. And on July 17th, Venus enters the sign of Cancer. Venus up until July 17th will be in your 11th house, and Venus brings something positive. So up until July 17th, it can bring something positive connected to your hopes, goals, and dreams, right? Connected to your social circle, connected to connecting with others, connected to the groups that you belong to, the organizations that you're a part of, something positive connected to these things. If science, tech, innovation, activism applies to you, then in those areas as well. But after July 17th, Venus is going to bring something positive connected to your subconscious mind. Maybe it's bringing healing. Maybe it's helping you release the past from your subconscious. Maybe it's helping you be more creative. Maybe it's helping you be more spiritual. Maybe it's bringing in a new spiritual practice for you, or bringing in positive results of all the work you've done spiritually. Or if drugs, delusions, addictions, depression apply to you, something positive connected to those as well. So that's July 17th. And on July 19th, Leo, we have two important events, right? We have Chiron going retrograde, and we also have Mercury changing signs. Now Mercury on July 19th enters your sign, right? Leo, it's going to enter your 1st house. So now the thinking, the communication can be more about yourself, right? More about your identity, more about your leadership. This is what you could be thinking about a little bit more. Maybe you're communicating a little bit more about yourself. So that sort of thing. And this will continue till the end of July. And on the same day, Chiron goes retrograde in your 9th house. Now Chiron helps us heal by facing our wounds, but Chiron's healing is bittersweet, and when it is direct, right, we feel that bittersweetness a little bit more of healing. But when it goes retrograde, that bittersweetness becomes less. So it's a good thing in a way. And in your 9th house, Chiron is helping you heal with matters connected to maybe philosophy, maybe higher education in a certain way, maybe connecting with different cultures, maybe something to do with travel as well. So this is where Chiron is bringing its healing in very subtle ways, and this is where the pressure will kind of ease off from healing. On July 22nd, the sun enters your sign, Leo, and that's a great thing. It enters your 1st house. So the sun is an illuminator, right? It will illuminate a particular house for 30 days. So for you, for the past 30 days, it has been illuminating your 12th house, right? Of spirituality, of closing out the past, of letting go of spiritual pursuits, creative pursuits, drugs, delusions, addictions, if those apply to you. But starting July 22nd, the focus, Leo, is going to be you. How you present yourself to the world, how the world sees you, your identity, your leadership, that sort of thing. And with the new moon in Leo happening on July 28th, new energy is going to come into your sign, your 1st house. So a lot of new energy will start on July 28th, which will help you really work on yourself, your identity, who you are, how the world sees you, your appearances, that sort of thing. And on the same day, July 28th, Jupiter goes retrograde, right? Jupiter is in your 9th house, and it's giving you blessings, gifts, rewards, lessons connected to higher education, foreign travel, publishing, philosophy, that sort of thing, since May 10th, after 12 years. And now it's going to retrograde. So the lessons, the healing, the rewards, the blessings will continue, but maybe to a lesser degree. And towards the end of the month, on July 31st, we have an extremely important event. The North Node is going to conjunct Uranus. Now this happens quite rarely, it's not very common, and what this means in very simple terms is change, right? Tremendous amounts of change, and it's happening in the sign of Taurus, Leo, and Taurus is your 10th house. So this whole month you are building up to this immense change connected to business, connected to career, connected to your public image and social standing, right? So that's the month in a nutshell for you. I hope you enjoyed this video, Leo. If you did, then do hit the like button, and if you think someone can benefit from this, do share it with them. And if you would like to subscribe to my channel, then you can do that as well. So now I will see you in another video. Have a great day, Leo. Bye. Virgo, welcome to my channel. So we're going to talk about what we have in store for you in the month of July. But before we talk about July, I just want to mention two important events that happen in the month of June, but that are important and will influence the energy of July as well. So on June 28th, we had a new moon in the sign of Cancer. Now, new moons bring with them new energy that we work on for the next 28 days, for the next lunar month. And for you, Virgo, this happened in your 11th house, right? So new energy connected to being social, connected to your social circles, the groups that you belong to, the organizations that you're a part of. It could also be new energy coming into your hopes, goals, and dreams. Maybe new dreams, maybe new goals, maybe new hopes for the future. That sort of thing. If science, tech, innovation, and activism applies to you, then new energy in that area as well. And this is what you will work on for the month of July till July 28th. Sorry about that. And that's the first thing. The second thing about June is that we had Neptune go retrograde on June 28th as well. Neptune right now is in your 7th house, Virgo, and Neptune, when it's direct, can bring this confusion, right? But when it goes retrograde, it can bring clarity. So for you, the confusion has been connected to relationships, right? Legal relationships, marriage, spouse, business partner, that sort of thing. Could be legal issues as well. So that's where the confusing element has been for you, if any. And now that it goes retrograde on June 28th, clarity will start to come about your relationships, about your business partners, about legal issues, that sort of thing, Virgo. Now let's talk about July. So in the month of July, on July 5th, we have two important events, right? Mercury enters the sign of Cancer and Mars enters the sign of Taurus. Now let's talk about Mars first. So Mars is going to enter your 9th house after 2 years, right? And when Mars enters a house, we get this tremendous amounts of energy to do things connected to that house. And for you, that's to do with travel. That's to do with learning something. That's to do with connecting with different cultures perhaps. That's to do with philosophy and higher education and publishing, if that applies to you. So there's a lot of energy and drive in this area for you, Virgo, after 2 years, for you to really start doing these things, start focusing on these things. If you'd like, if you wanted to learn something and that hasn't happened in the past 2 years, maybe this is the time. Maybe you wanted to travel and that's not happened, maybe this is the time. And Mars is going to be there all of July, so you have all of July to work on this. On the same day, Mercury enters your 11th house, right? And Mercury is our mind, it's our communication, it's our thinking. So up until July 19th, from July 5th, you might find yourself a little bit more focused in terms of thinking and communicating on your social circle. Maybe you're being a little more social than usual. Maybe you're connecting with others a little bit more. Maybe you're reaching out a little bit more, or maybe people are reaching out to you a little bit more. Or it could be that you're thinking and communicating about your hopes, goals, and dreams a little bit more, right? If science, tech, and innovation applies to you, then maybe thinking and talking a little bit more about those things, all the way up to July 19th. Then on July 13th, we have a full moon in Capricorn, right? And Capricorn for you, Virgo, is your 5th house, right? So full moons bring with them completions, culminations. They're a point of clarity, and for you that's happening in your fifth house of romance, of love, of creativity, of hobbies, of fun, of pleasure. So maybe something becoming clear connected to a love situation, maybe something getting completed connected to romance, right? Maybe something completing itself connected to creative pursuits, or maybe something to do with a new hobby that you take up, maybe clarity on what hobby to take up, things like that. The fifth house is also children, so maybe something about children can come up with the full moon in Capricorn for you, Virgo. Then on July 17th, Venus is going to change signs. It's going to enter the sign of Cancer. Up until July 17th, it is in your 10th house, right? Giving you gifts, blessings, rewards, connected to your business and career. After 17th July, the positivity will be more towards your social circle. Being social, maybe your hopes, goals, and dreams, may be something positive coming through there for you. Or if science, tech, innovation applies to you, then in that area for you, Virgo. And then on July 19th, right, we have Mercury changing signs again, which means now the thinking, now the communication can be a little bit more about, closing out the past. Maybe you're thinking about letting go of the past in a certain way. Maybe you're communicating about it a little more. Maybe you're thinking and communicating more about spirituality, creativity, spiritual practices. Or maybe if drugs, delusions, addictions, depression apply to you, then something about that as well, right? And that'll continue all the way till end July, because Mercury is going to be in your 12th house up until then. And on the same day, Chiron will go retrograde. Chiron is in your 8th house, and Chiron helps us deal with our pain, deal with our wounds, so that we can heal. And when Chiron is direct, the process of healing is more intense, which means that we feel the intensity. But when it goes retrograde, there's a certain ease, a certain relief that comes through. And for you, this healing process is connected to your psychology, Virgo. It's connected to maybe the hidden truths of life, maybe connected to intimacy or an intimate relationship as well. So that's the area that's impacted for you with Chiron. And when it goes retrograde on July 19th, a certain pressure will be lifted off. Then on July 22nd, Virgo, the sun is going to enter the sign of Leo, your 12th house. Up until then, the sun is highlighting, illuminating, bringing to focus your social circle, being social, your hopes, goals, and dreams, science, tech, and innovation, if that applies to you. But after that, it's going to be more about closing the past for the next 30 days, all the way into August. It's going to be about your subconscious healing. It's going to be about spirituality and creativity. And if drugs, delusions, and addictions apply to you, then those things as well, right? So that's the sun. And with the new moon in Leo on July 28th, new energy will be seeded into that house, which means something new will come about in your house of spirituality, creativity, subconscious mind, closing out the past, that you will work on all the way into August, right? Maybe you become more spiritual. Maybe you start a new spiritual practice starting July 28th. On the same day, Jupiter is going to go retrograde, right? And it is right now in your 8th house, giving you gifts, blessings, rewards, and healings connected to the occult, connected to intimacy, connected to transforming, connected to hidden things, connected to your psychology, Virgo, right? And it has been doing this since 10th May, and this is happening after 12 years, but now it's going to retrograde, and the gifts, the rewards, the healings, and the lessons will be there, but maybe not as much. And towards the end of July, we have an extremely important event, right? We have Uranus conjuncting the North Node. And for you, Virgo, this is in your 9th house, right? The 9th house is to do with foreign travel. It's to do with higher education. It's to do with publishing. It's to do with your beliefs, your philosophy, the meaning of life, those sort of questions as well. So change building up all of July concerning these areas, right? Maybe travel is on the cards. Maybe you're looking to move. That could be a possibility as well, Virgo. Maybe you start a new higher education degree. So things like that. And you'll feel the build up all of July, Virgo. So that's the month in a nutshell for you. A lot of focus towards the beginning on being social, on social circles, on your hopes, goals, and dreams. But towards the end of the month, it shifts more to releasing the past, closing out the past, going a little bit more within, focusing on spirituality, focusing on creativity, and if drugs, delusions, and addictions apply to you, then those matters as well, Virgo. So that's the month for you, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, do hit the like button, and if you think someone can benefit from it, do share it with them. And if you like, you can also subscribe to my channel. And now I will see you in one of my other videos, Virgo. Libra, welcome to my channel. So this is for Libra Sun and Libra Rising, and let's get started. But before we get into July, I want to talk about two important things that happen at the end of June, right? So the first thing is that on June 28th, we had a new moon in the sign of Cancer, right? And new moons bring with them new energy that we work on for the next 28 days. So all the way up until July 28th, this is the area where you'll be working on a little bit more, right? This is where the new energy comes in for you. And for you, it's your 10th house, Libra. So new energy entered your 10th house of business, of career, of your social standing, of your public image on June 28th. And this is the energy you will work on developing all throughout July. The second thing is that Neptune went retrograde on June 28th as well. Now Neptune is in your 6th house. It has been there for a while, and when Neptune is direct, which it has been up until June 28th, there's a certain degree of confusion. And for you, that confusion could have been connected to your routine, right? Your habits, your diet, your exercise, right? Could be connected to your health and job as well. But when Neptune goes retrograde, as it did on June 28th, the clarity comes. So if you've been confused about your lifestyle, if you've been confused about your exercise routine or diet or routine in general or habits or health or job, now the clarity should start coming. Now Libra, let's talk about the month of July for you. The first important event happens on July 5th. Actually, two events happen on that day. Mars changes signs. It enters the sign of Taurus, right? And Taurus for you is your 8th house. And Mercury changes signs and enters the sign of Cancer, your 10th house. So let's talk about Mars first. Mars is our energy, it's our initiative, it's about taking action. And Mars enters a particular sign after 2 years, which means a particular house after 2 years. So almost after 2 years, Mars has entered your 8th house of transformation, of the occult, of intimate relationships, of investments, of changing, of your psychology, right? And Mars here can give you a lot of energy, a lot of drive, a lot of courage to work on these matters, work on transforming things, work on changing things, generally speaking, work on starting something new maybe, or end something old. It can also give you a lot of energy to work on your psychology, a lot of energy for investments, to work on investments as well, or an intimate relationship. It can also give you a lot of energy if you are into the occult and all that sort of stuff, to work on those areas or learn something about those things. So that's what Mars in the 8th house will do for you all of July. And Mercury is going to enter your 10th house right on July 5th and will be there till July 19th. So these 2 weeks, right, your thinking, your communication can be a little bit more focused on your work, on your business, on your career, on your public image, on your social standing. Then on July 13th, Libra, we have a full moon in Capricorn, right? And Capricorn is your 4th house, and full moons are completion points. They bring clarity. They bring a lot of energy with them as well. And for you, this is happening in your 4th house of the home, of your emotions, of your family. So maybe something completing itself connected to your home and family. It could be a physical home as well, right? Maybe clarity coming through connected to your home, maybe a physical home. Maybe you've been thinking about moving or investing in a property. Maybe some clarity coming through about that for you, Libra. So what this full moon is going to do is going to highlight that house for you. Property, home, family, foundation, deepest emotions on July 13th, and that energy will continue for 2 weeks or so. On July 17th, Venus enters the sign of Cancer, your 10th house. Up until July 17th, it's in your 9th house, and Venus brings with it some positive things, right? Positivity. And up until July 17th, it can bring positivity connected to maybe traveling, right? Maybe learning a new new thing, maybe learning something new, maybe travel plans. Venus helps you do that. Maybe if you've been questioning the meaning of life, or if you've had some philosophical questions, Venus can help you answer those up until July 17th. After July 17th till the end of July, Venus is going to bring something positive connected to your career, connected to your business, your public image, and social standing. On July 19th, we have two important events. Mercury changes signs again, and Chiron goes retrograde. Now, from July 19th onwards, your thinking and communication can be more about social things, right? About being social, being connecting with others, that sort of thing. Maybe that's where your thinking is at. Maybe that's what you're communicating more about, being social. Maybe you're being more social, right? It can also be an energy that helps you think about and communicate more about your hopes, goals, and dreams. If science, tech, and innovation applies to you in any way, Libra, then you could be thinking about these matters as well a little bit more, or talking about these matters a little bit more as well. So that's happening for you on July 19th. On the same day, Chiron goes retrograde. Chiron is the planet that helps us face our pain, face our wounds, and after we face the pain and the wounds, it helps us heal. So the healing with Chiron is essential, but it feels bittersweet, right? And when it is direct, we feel that more intensely, but when it goes retrograde, as it will on July 19th, the intensity eases off. So it's like a relief, and for you, that's connected to the house of others. It's connected to how you connect with others. It's connected to your relationships, maybe marriage, spouse, business partner, legal issues as well. Then on July 22nd, the sun is going to change signs. Up until July 22nd, the sun is bringing to light, highlighting your career, business, public image, social standing. After that, after July 22nd, it's going to be more about being social, your social circle, connecting with others, more light shown on your hopes, goals, and dreams. Maybe think about that a little bit more, right? If science, tech, innovation, and activism applies to you, then those areas as well, Libra, right? And with the new moon on July 28th, new energy is going to come into your 11th house, meaning starting July 28th all the way till end of August, a lot of your focus is going to be about being social, right? It's going to be about connecting with others. It's going to be about focusing on your hopes, goals, and dreams and things like that, Libra. So that's July 28th, and on the same day, Jupiter goes retrograde. Jupiter right now is transiting your 7th house, and Jupiter gives gifts, blessings, rewards, and lessons as well. And since May 10th, it's in your 7th house, meaning it's been giving you gifts, blessings, rewards, lessons, and healing connected to your marriage, legal relationships, legal issues, that sort of thing. And now it's going to go retrograde in your 7th house. The gifts, the rewards, the healing, the lessons will continue, but maybe to a lesser degree, right? And on July 31st, we have an extremely important event. Uranus and the North Node are going to meet up. And what this means is that there's a lot of change building up. Uranus and the North Node don't conjunct very often, so it's not a very common energy to go through. And this conjunction is bringing tremendous change, and for you, that's in your 8th house of transformation. So there could be an overall big transformation building up for you in the month of July. Or it can be something more specific connected to an intimate relationship you have. Maybe something there transforms in a big way. Or it could be connected to occult, right? Maybe something transforms in a major way for you in that department. It could also be something deep transforming in your psychology, in your psychological makeup as well, right? So a lot of energy for you this month in your 8th house of psychology, of transforming. And to sum it up, Libra, I would say that the beginning of the month, there's a lot of energy about working, focusing on your business, focusing on your career. But towards the end of the month and all the way into August, right, a lot of the energy will be about being social, connecting with the groups that you belong to, the acquaintances that you have, that sort of thing. So, and your hopes, goals, and dreams as well. So that's the month in a nutshell for you, Libra. I hope you enjoyed this video. If it was useful for you, do share it with someone who you think might benefit from this. And if you did like it, please hit the like button, and you can also subscribe to my channel if you wish. So now I will see you next time, Libra. Scorpio, let's talk about what's happening for you in the month of July. So let's get started. But before we get into July, I do want to mention a couple of things that happen in the month of June because they will carry into the month of July as well. So the first thing is that on June 28th, there's a new moon in Cancer, right? Now, new moons bring with them new energy. So with the new moon in Cancer, there'll be a new energy that you will work on till July 28th. And for you, that's in your ninth house. So new energy coming in to maybe learning something new, right? Maybe travel. Maybe you start planning or thinking about a trip this month. Maybe something to do with publishing if that applies to you, maybe something to do with philosophy and the meaning of life and that sort of thing as well. The ninth house is also the house of connecting with other cultures, right? So maybe something about that starting for you that intensifies in July that you work on in the month of July. On the same day, on June 28th, Scorpio, we also have Neptune going retrograde, right? And Neptune can bring this confusion when it's direct, and when it retrogrades we find that clarity, right? And for you, this is in your fifth house. So maybe if there's been a certain degree of confusion connected to love, romance, creative things, hobbies, sports, right, then that confusion will begin to clarify itself starting June 28th. Now let's get into the month of July, Scorpio. So in the month of July, we have two important events on July 5th. Mercury enters the sign of Cancer and Mars enters the sign of Taurus. So let's talk about Mars first. Right now, Mars is the planet of our energy, right? And it enters a particular sign, which means a particular house, after 2 years. And after 2 years, Scorpio, it's entering your seventh house, meaning it's giving you a lot of energy, a lot of drive, a lot of initiative to focus on connecting in your marriage, connecting in terms of legal relationships, whether that's your father-in-law, mother-in-law, business partner, spouse, that sort of thing, right? A lot of energy and drive in that area. It can also be that you put a lot of your energy into legal issues. So that's what's happening for you. A lot of energy to connect with others, connect with your marriage, connect with your spouse, mother-in-law, or any legal relationship, business partner. And Mercury on the same day is going to enter your ninth house, right? And Mercury is our mind and thinking and communication. So wherever Mercury goes, our thinking and communication goes there a little bit more than usual. And for you, that's to do with learning something, right? Maybe you're thinking a little bit more about learning something or talking about learning something new. Or maybe you're thinking or talking or communicating more about traveling, right? Or maybe pursuing a higher education degree, or maybe about the meaning of life, right? Maybe you're having these philosophical conversations a little bit more, or reading these books about philosophy a little bit more, that sort of thing as well. Or if publishing is an interest to you, right? Maybe you're a writer and publishing is important to you, maybe something about that as well that you're thinking about and communicating about a little more than usual. And this will continue till July 19th, right? And on July 13th, right, we have a full moon in Capricorn, and full moons bring with them this energy of completing something, right? We complete something on a full moon, or they can bring this clarity about something. And for you, that's happening in your third house, Scorpio. So the third house is to do with communication. It's to do with connecting, reaching out, right? Writing, reading, information. It's to do with social media. It's to do with your immediate environment. So maybe some clarity coming to you about these things. Maybe it's become clear to you, okay, who you should write to. Maybe you've been pondering about, I want to reach out to someone in this area and I've been confused. Maybe clarity will come and, that email will be sent out. Or maybe you get more clarity on how you want to change up your immediate environment. Or if you have been working on changing up your immediate environment, maybe now it completes itself. Or maybe in the past you've been communicating with someone about something, and now is when the communication kind of gets finalized and you see something, the final result of it come about. So that's where the full moon energy is going to be for you in your third house, Scorpio. Now, moving on to July 17th, Venus changes signs on July 17th, Scorpio. It is going to enter the sign of Cancer, and Venus brings blessings and rewards and healing, right? Up until July 17th, it's bringing something positive connected to transforming. Right, maybe you're just transforming in a general sense. Maybe it's bringing something positive connected to an intimate relationship you have, or something to do with investments, or something to do with the occult, right? Maybe something positive happening for you in these areas, or something positive connected to your psychological makeup as well, up until July 17th. After that, the positivity is going to be more about, that learning. If there's something you wanted to learn, maybe this is the time when it can happen. Maybe if you've been learning something, this is the time you can get proficient at it. Or it could be that, Venus comes in, blesses you, or gives you a gift or a reward of a trip, or helps you plan a trip for the future, that sort of thing. Or if you've been in a very philosophical state of mind, questioning and, asking these questions, Venus can help you find those answers. So something positive connected to foreign travel, higher education, taking a trip, learning something new, philosophy, your beliefs, that sort of thing. And on July 19th, we have two important events, Scorpio, right? So we have Mercury changing signs again, and it's going to enter the sign of Leo. Now, this is when your thinking and communication can be a little bit more about your career, right? All the way to the end of July. Maybe you think about your career a little bit more than normal, or maybe you talk about it a little bit more than normal, Scorpio. And on the same day, Chiron is going to go retrograde. Chiron is in your 6th house right now, and Chiron helps us deal with our wounds, right, by facing them. So when Chiron is direct, we feel that intensity, of facing something and then healing. But when it goes retrograde, the intensity eases off. And for you, this healing is connected to your routine, right? Your habits, your lifestyle, your diet, your exercise. So the pressure in these areas will ease off a little bit for you on July 19th. And then on July 22nd, the sun is going to enter your 10th house. Now, the sun shines light on a particular area of our life for 30 days. Till July 22nd, it's going to shine light on, traveling, learning something new, higher education, philosophy, the meaning of life, your beliefs. But after July 22nd, all the way up till August, it's going to shine more light on your business and career. And when we have the new moon on July 28th, that's when new energy will enter your 10th house of business and career. Maybe a new idea seeds itself that you work on in the month of August connected to business and career. Maybe new energy comes in, right? You say, what, I can do this. I can work on my career a little bit more in a different way, perhaps. So that sort of thing. And on July 28th, we also have Jupiter going retrograde, right? Now, Jupiter has been in your 6th house, and it's been in your 6th house since May 10th. And Jupiter enters a particular house after 12 years or so. So after 12 years, it's giving you gifts, blessings, and rewards connected to your routine, your diet, your lifestyle, your exercise, your health, your job, your habits, right? And now it's going to go retrograde. So the blessings and the lessons in this department will continue, but maybe to a lesser degree. And towards the end of the month, on July 31st, we have the Uranus North Node conjunction. Now, this happens quite rarely. It's not very common. And for you, this is happening in your 7th house of legal relationships. So a big change building up for you when it comes to marriage, when it comes to legal relationships of any kind, spouse, mother-in-law, father-in-law, or even a business partner. Big change building up to maybe something legal, a legal issue perhaps. So that's the change you're building up to, and you'll feel this all of this month, Scorpio. And that's the month in a nutshell for you. So to sum it up, I would say that this month, the beginning, there's a lot of focus on, learning things, maybe traveling, maybe questioning, maybe philosophy, that sort of thing. But towards the end, the focus does begin to shift towards your career a little bit more, and you'll work more into your career in the month of August. Changes building up connected to your marriage, legal relationships, business partnerships as well. So that's the month in a nutshell for you. And if you've been confused about love, romance, sports, hobbies, fun, pleasure, children in a certain way, then the confusion will also be much less this month. So I hope you enjoyed this horoscope, Scorpio. If you think it's useful, do share it with someone you think might benefit from it. If you liked it, please hit the like button, and you can always subscribe to my channel if you wish. So now I will see you next time, Scorpio. Bye. Sag, welcome. This is your monthly horoscope for July, so let's get started. But before we get into July, I do want to talk about the month of June a little bit. So, two important events from the month of June. So, the first thing that I want to talk about is the new moon in the sign of Cancer that happened on June 28th, right? Now, new moons bring with them new energy that we work on for the next 28 days. Now, for you, Sag, this new moon was in your 8th house of transforming, of ending something and beginning something new, of your psychology, right? Of maybe something connected to the occult, of something connected to intimate relationships and investments. So new energy entered that house for you, and this is what you will work on till July 28th, right? Maybe in changing in a major way, maybe in transforming in a major way, Sag, maybe in ending something old and beginning something new, or in your psychology, maybe you're working on that this month in an active way, or maybe something connected to intimate relationships in your life, Sag. So that's what you will work on till July 28th. Now we also have Neptune going retrograde on June 28th, right? And Neptune can bring this confusion when it's direct, right? It can bring this haze, this fog when it is direct. And when it goes retrograde, it brings clarity. So for you, Sag, Neptune is in your 4th house right now. So if you've been confused about your home situation, or this could be a physical home as well, if you've been confused about your emotions maybe, or people who are close to you in a certain way. So any confusion connected to your home, family, foundation will start to ease off starting June 28th when Neptune goes retrograde. Now let's talk about July for you, Sag. So two important events happen on July 5th, right? Mars enters Taurus and Mercury enters Cancer. Now Mars will enter your 6th house after 2 years, right? Because Mars enters a particular house, a particular sign after 2 years almost. So after 2 years, it's entering your 6th house of health, of job, of your routine, diet, lifestyle, exercise. And what that means is that it's giving you a lot of energy. It's giving you a lot of drive to focus on these things starting July 5th, to focus on your diet, to focus on your exercise, to focus on your routine, to focus on your lifestyle, to focus on your habits, right? It's giving you that energy, and you'll have that all of July with you. So if you want to make changes to these things, you have that energy to do so. On the same day, Mercury enters the sign of Cancer. Cancer is your 8th house, right? And Mercury is our thinking and communication. So maybe starting July 5th, you start thinking or communicating a little bit more than usual about, changing things up. Maybe about ending something or beginning something, or maybe about your psychology. Maybe you start talking a little bit more about that, or thinking about that a little bit more. If occult is of an interest to you, maybe you start thinking about that, or reading about that, or talking about that a little bit more than usual. It could also be that you focus your thinking and talking and reading and writing, something connected to investments as well, or you get more communicative, or you think more about an intimate relationship in your life. So that sort of thing all the way up till July 19th, Sag. Now on July 13th, we have a full moon in the sign of Capricorn, right? And Capricorn is your 2nd house. It's your 2nd house, Sag. Now full moons are a point of completion. They're a point of clarity, and for you, this completion and this clarity is to do with your 2nd house of finances, right? Maybe you're becoming a little bit more about your finances. Maybe you're becoming a little bit more about the skills you want to learn, or maybe you're becoming a little bit more about the values that you hold, or what you value, right? Or it could be something completing itself, connected to financial matters, connected to maybe the skills that you've been learning in the past, that sort of energy. So completions, clarity coming through for financial matters, skills, values, self-worth, appearances in the month of July, starting July 13th with the full moon in Capricorn for you, Sag. Now on July 17th, Venus enters the sign of Cancer. So up until July 17th, it's in Gemini, your 7th house, right? And Venus brings this positivity to it. So up until July 17th, it's bringing this positivity to your house of marriage, to your house of legal relationships, business partnerships, legal issues. And after July 17th, that positivity moves to, transforming, to your psychology, to occult things, to intimacy, to investments. Maybe something positive with an intimate relationship, maybe something positive as a result of transforming, or psychological healing. So any one of these things after July 17th. And on July 19th, we have two important events, right? Mercury is going to change signs. It's going to enter the sign of Leo, your 9th house. So now your thinking and communication can be a little bit more about, wanting to learn something new. Or maybe you actually learn something new, or it could be more focused on traveling, maybe planning a trip abroad. It could be more focused on maybe you start having these conversations about philosophy and the meaning of life and that sort of thing. Maybe you think a little bit more about your beliefs. So that sort of thing, all the way till end of July. And on the same day, on July 19th, Chiron goes retrograde. Chiron right now is in your 5th house, Sag, and Chiron helps us heal by facing our wounds. So since it helps us face our wounds, the healing that comes with it is usually bittersweet. And when it is direct, we actively heal. But when Chiron goes retrograde, a certain pressure lifts off us. And for this, and for you, Sag, this is connected to your 5th house of love and romance and children and creativity, right? Maybe with Chiron in your 5th house, you've been actively focused on healing through creativity, or healing something connected to creativity or children or sports or romance. But now there's a certain sigh of relief in that department as Chiron goes retrograde. Then on July 22nd, the sun is going to change signs. It's going to enter Leo, right? Leo is your 9th house. So starting July 22nd, all the way into August, for 30 days or so, right? Starting July 22nd, the sun is going to highlight and illuminate and bring to focus your 9th house of learning something, of higher education, of foreign travel, of philosophy, right? Maybe you start getting more focused on these things. Maybe you start planning a trip. Maybe you start, thinking more about learning something. You actually learn something. So that sort of thing. And before that, before July 22nd, the sun is going to be in your 8th house, right? Helping you focus on transforming, on ending something, beginning something, on your psychological makeup, on intimacy and investments. So that's the sun. And this energy of the sun in your 9th house, which will illuminate, that foreign travel and higher education, maybe taking a trip abroad, or philosophy or publishing, that will get more highlighted when we have a new moon in Leo on July 28th in your 9th house. So that's when new energy will come into your house of travel, higher education, learning, philosophy, beliefs that you will work on all the way into August. And on July 28th, we also have Jupiter going retrograde, right? Now Jupiter has been in your 5th house since May 10th, and Jupiter has been in your 5th house after 12 years, right? And in your 5th house, it's giving you blessings, gifts, rewards, and healing since May 10th, connected to love, romance, creativity, children, and hobbies, and even lessons. And now it's going to retrograde in your 5th house. So the lessons will continue, the blessings will continue, but maybe a notch less than before. And on July 31st, we have Uranus conjunct with the North Node, right? And this is not a very common thing to go through. And what this brings is change. And for you, where the change is happening is your 6th house of your job, of health, of diet, lifestyle, routine. So all of July, maybe you'll feel this build up, of changing up your routine in a major way, the way you work in a major way. Maybe something connected to diet and lifestyle and health and exercise also changes up, or starts to change up all the way till the end of July. So that's the month in a nutshell for you, Sag. A lot of focus in the beginning on changing and transforming, on intimacy and psychology. Towards the end of the month, it becomes more about, traveling, more about learning something new, or engaging in philosophy and questions such as, the meaning of life and that sort of thing. The change that is building up for you is to do with is to do with your diet, lifestyle, health, routine, job, and you have a lot of energy this month to work on those things as well. And the full moon on July 13th in the sign of Capricorn will bring clarity or complete something connected to finances, appearances, self-worth, values, or skills. So I hope you enjoyed this horoscope, Sag. If you liked it, do hit the like button. If you think someone can benefit from it, do share it with them. And you can always subscribe to my channel if you wish. So have a great month, Sag, and I will see you next time. Bye. Capricorn, this is your monthly horoscope for July. But before we get into July, I want to talk about two events that happen in the month of June a little bit. So the first thing I want to talk about is a new moon that happens on June 28th in the sign of Cancer, right? Now, new moons bring with them new energy that we work on for the next 28 days or so. And for you, Capricorn, the new energy that started for you on June 28th and that you will work on all the way up to July 28th is to do with your relationships, right? Especially the legal relationships in your life, marriage, business partner, mother-in-law, father-in-law, that sort of thing, or it could be a legal issue as well. So that's where the new energy is for you, and that's what you will work on for till July 28th. And the second thing I want to mention is that Neptune went retrograde on June 28th. And when Neptune is direct, right, there's a certain degree of confusion. But when it goes retrograde, the confusion eases off. And for you, this is to do with your third house, communication, right? Maybe you've been confused about who to reach out to or who to communicate with or that sort of thing. So clarity will come in that department. The third house is also the house of social media. It's the house of your siblings, your office space, your home space. So if you've been confused about maybe how to change up your office space or how to go about your social media, clarity will begin to come with Neptune going retrograde in that area for you. Now let's talk about the month of July, Capricorn. So the first important event on July, actually two events, they happen on July 5th, right? Mars enters Taurus and Mercury enters Cancer. So let's talk about Mars entering the sign of Taurus first. Now Mars enters a particular sign, which means a particular house after 2 years. So after 2 years, it is entering your fifth house of love, romance, creativity, hobbies, fun, pleasure, right? And what this means is that Mars here in the month of July, starting July 5th, is giving you tremendous amounts of energy, initiative, and drive and courage to work on love, to work on romance, to work on maybe a creative project, or work on something to do with children, right? Or work on taking up a sport, right? Or a new hobby. There's a lot of energy there, and that energy is coming in after 2 years. So use it well, Capricorn. And on the same day, Mercury enters the sign of Cancer. So now that Mercury is in Cancer, your seventh house, your thinking and communication can be a little bit more focused on relationships. Maybe you communicate more with your partner. Maybe you think more about relationships, so that sort of thing. And that will continue till July 19th, right? And on July 13th, we have a full moon in your sign, Capricorn, a full moon in your first house. And full moons are a point of clarity and completion. So what this can bring is some clarity or completion connected to you, connected to your identity, connected to your appearance. Maybe you're becoming more clear about who you are, right? Maybe you're becoming more clear about maybe a leadership position that you hold. Or maybe something is completing itself connected to your identity that you started in the past. So things like that. But the highlight of this full moon is you. Then on July 17th, Capricorn, we have Venus changing signs, right? Venus is going to enter the sign of Cancer. So up until July 17th, Venus is bringing something positive connected to your routine. You can have something positive happen connected to your routine, your diet, your health, your lifestyle, your job. But after July 17th, the positivity will be more towards your relationships, marriage, business partners, legal issues, that sort of thing. And on July 19th, Mercury is going to enter your 8th house. Now your thinking and communication can be more about intimacy. It can be more focused on transforming and changing. It can be more about psychology, right? Maybe you're thinking and communicating more about your psychological makeup or something about that. It could be more focused on the occult as well. Maybe you start thinking more about the occult things of life. So that sort of thing. And on the same day, Chiron goes retrograde. And Chiron is a planet that helps us heal by facing up pain. And for you, Chiron has been transiting your fourth house of home, family, foundation, and your deepest emotions. So that's where you've been doing a lot of your healing, Capricorn. But now that it goes retrograde, the pressure to heal, the intensity that we might feel connected to family, friends, close friends, that is, home, will slowly start to kind of be less intense. And on July 22nd, the sun enters the sign of Leo, your 8th house. So up until July 22nd, the sun is really highlighting your relationships. That's the focus. Relationships, marriage, business partners, that sort of thing. But after July 22nd, the focus becomes more about changing, transforming, maybe ending something or beginning something, or maybe more about intimacy, or more about investments or the occult. So that's where the sun is going to go and illuminate that house for the next 30 days starting July 22nd. But it is when we have the new moon on July 28th, the new moon in Leo, when new energy will enter that house of transformation, endings, beginnings, intimacy, investments, the occult. And when that new energy seeds itself in this house for you on July 28th, that's when you'll start working on these areas actively all the way up until end of August. And on July 28th, we also have Jupiter going retrograde. Now, Jupiter has been in your 4th house since 10th of May, and Jupiter brings blessings, gifts, rewards, and healings. And for you, it is doing this since 10th of May after 12 years in your house of home, your family, your foundation, your deepest emotions. And now it's going to go retrograde. So the blessings and the lessons will continue in this department for you, but maybe a notch less than when it is direct. Then towards the end of the month, on July 31st, we have the Uranus North Node conjunction. Now this happens quite rarely, so it's not very common to go through, and what this brings is change, immense change. And for you, that change, Capricorn, is to do with love, romance, children, creativity, hobbies, fun, pleasure, right? Big change is building up for you in this department. And you might feel it all throughout July as it peaks on July 31st. So that's the month for you. A lot of focus this month, especially in the initial half, on relationships, on marriage, and towards the latter half on changing, on transforming, on intimacy as well. So change building up for you, connected to love, romance, creativity, children, and hobbies. And that's the month in a nutshell for you, Capricorn. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, do hit the like button. If you think someone can benefit from it, do share it with them. And you can always subscribe to my channel. So now I will see you next time, Capricorn. Have a great month. Aquarius, welcome. This is your monthly horoscope for July. But before we get into July, I would like to talk about two events that happen at the end of June, just very briefly. So let's talk about what's happening. So on June 28th, we have a new moon in Cancer, and new moons bring with them new energy that we work on for the next lunar month. So starting June 28th, you will work on this energy that I will mention all the way up till July 28th. So for you, this new energy is happening in your 6th house of health, of your habits, of your job, lifestyle, routine, exercise. So something new coming into this area for you, Aquarius, that you will work on all of July almost, right? The second thing I wanted to talk about is that on June 28th, Neptune goes retrograde, right? And Neptune right now is in your 2nd house, and Neptune can bring this confusion. So if there's been this confusion about finances, about your self-worth, about what you value, right, maybe something to do with appearances also, then that confusion will begin to ease off as we enter the month of July. Now let's talk about July. So in the month of July, we have two important events on July 5th. Mars enters Taurus and Mercury enters Cancer. Now Mars will enter your 4th house, right, after 2 years. So after 2 years, you're getting this burst of energy, drive, initiative to really focus and work on your home, on your family, on your deepest emotions, on your closest friends, right? It's giving you that energy to focus on these things and really work on these things. It could also be a physical home that you work on, maybe changing homes, that sort of thing as well. And On the same day, Mercury enters the sign of Cancer, right? And Mercury is our mind and communication. So maybe starting July 5th, you start to think, communicate a little bit more about, sixth house matters. Maybe your health, maybe your job, maybe something to do with exercise and diet and your routine. Maybe you're thinking about this a little bit more. Maybe you're communicating about these things a little bit more than usual. And this will continue all the way to July 19th, Aquarius. Right, and then on July 13th, we have a full moon in the sign of Capricorn. Capricorn is your 12th house. So this full moon is really highlighting you closing out the past in a major way, right? The 12th house. It's highlighting your subconscious mind, your subconscious thinking in a major way. It's also highlighting creative pursuits and spiritual pursuits as well. It's also the house of drugs, delusions, escapism, and addiction. So if those apply to you, then this moon is highlighting that for you as well on July 13th. A full moon is usually a completion point or a culmination point, right? So maybe you're completing the process of releasing the past. Maybe you're getting more clarity on what to release. Maybe you're finding clarity on how to move forward with your creativity or spirituality. Or if drugs, delusions, addictions, depression apply to you, then something completing itself or clarity coming through in these areas for you, Aquarius, right? And on July 17th, Venus enters the sign of Cancer. Now, Venus up until then is going to be in the sign of Gemini, your 5th house. So up until July 17th, it's going to be giving you gifts, blessings, rewards, and healing connected to your 5th house of love, romance, creativity, children, hobbies, fun, pleasure, sports. After July 17th, the focus is going to be more about Venus giving gifts and something positive connected to your routine, your habits, your lifestyle, exercise, diet, health, job, that sort of thing. And on July 19th, Aquarius, we have Mercury changing signs again. So after July 19th, your thinking, your communication can be more focused on relationships, especially marriage, especially legal relationships such as business partnerships or, mother-in-law, father-in-law, that sort of thing. It could also be that you focus your thinking and communication more towards legal relationships. So, sorry, legal issues, not relationships. Legal relationships as well, but legal issues too. And that's July 19th. And on the same day, Chiron goes retrograde. And Chiron is the planet that helps us heal by helping us deal with our wounds, right? And Chiron right now is transiting your 3rd house. So what you are healing, Aquarius, is a lot to do with your mind, right? It's a lot to do with communicating. It's a lot to do with your immediate environment, the immediate space that you surround yourself in. It's a lot to do with your siblings as well, right? That's where the healing's been happening for you. And when Chiron goes retrograde, as it will on July 19th, that intensity of healing eases off and we feel a certain relief. And for you, the relief will be in these areas: your mind, communicating, thinking, your immediate environment, your peer group, your siblings, all these things. So that's July 19th. Then on July 22nd, Aquarius, we have the sun changing signs, right? It's going to enter the sign of Leo. So up until July 22nd, the sun is really highlighting for the past 30 days, up until July 22nd, really highlighting your 6th house: health, job, diet, lifestyle, routine, exercise. After July 22nd, for the next 30 days, all the way into August, it is going to highlight legal relationships, marriage, business partner, mother-in-law, father-in-law, legal issues as well. And when we have a new moon in Leo on July 28th, that's when new energy will enter this house of marriage, business partners, legal relationships, and legal issues. Meaning, starting July 28th with the new energy, you'll work on these themes till the end of August. And on the same day, Jupiter is going to go retrograde, Aquarius. Jupiter right now is transiting your 3rd house. It has been since May 10th, and this is happening after 12 years. So after 12 years, Jupiter is giving you gifts, blessings, rewards, and healing connected to your mind, connected to your communication, connected to your peer group, connected to your siblings, social media, marketing, that sort of thing as well, writing perhaps, right? And when it goes retrograde, the blessings and the healing and the lessons will continue, but maybe to a lesser degree. And we also have the highlight of the month on July 31st, right? We have Uranus conjuncting the North Node. Now, this doesn't happen very often. And what this brings is change, right? Immense change. And for you, they are conjuncting in your fourth house, Aquarius. Immense change connected to your home. Could be a home situation, could be a physical home. Also, it's your roots. Maybe change is coming there for you. It's your deepest emotions, right? So maybe change is building up for you in this area, Aquarius. So that's the month in a nutshell for you. So till like the first half of the month, a little more than that, say about 20th of July, a lot of focus is on health, exercise, diet, lifestyle, routine, and then it kind of shifts towards legal relationships, legal issues, marriage, business partnerships. And the change that's building up for you in a major way this month is to do with your home, is to do with your family. It could be a physical home as well. So that's the month in a nutshell for you, Aquarius. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, do hit the like button. And if you think this can benefit somebody, do share it with them. And you're always welcome to subscribe to my channel. And I will see you next time, Aquarius. Have a great month. Pisces, welcome. This is your monthly horoscope for the month of July. But before we get into July, I do want to talk about two important events that happen at the end of June. So the first thing I want to talk about is the new moon in the sign of Cancer. Now, new moons bring with them new energy that we work on for the next lunar month. So this energy starts for you on June 28th and you will work on it till July 28th. And this energy is in your fifth house of love, children, creativity, romance, hobbies, fun, pleasure. So this whole month starting June 28th all the way up till July 28th, the work that you will be doing in an active way will be pertaining to your children, to love, romance, creativity, hobbies, fun, and pleasure. The second thing I wanted to talk about is that on June 28th itself, we have Neptune going retrograde. And Neptune can bring with it this confusion, right? And Neptune is in your first house. So if you've been feeling a little confused about yourself, right, your identity maybe, then with Neptune going retrograde on June 28th, clarity about yourself, your identity will start to happen. Now let's talk about July. So two important events happen on July 5th. Pisces. The first, Mars enters Taurus. So Taurus for you, Pisces, is your third house, and Mars is entering your third house after 2 years. So after 2 years, Pisces, it's giving you this immense energy and drive to really focus and work on communication, right? This could be emails, this could be actually communicating, picking up the phone and dialing a few numbers, reaching out. It could be that you start social media accounts or become more active on your accounts. It could be that you start marketing your business a little bit more. So anything to do with communication as well as your immediate environment. Maybe you've been wanting to change up your office and home. With Mars there, you can actually do it, right? It can also give you a lot of energy to focus on your relationship with your siblings, Pisces. So that's what Mars in your third house is going to do all of July, starting July 5th. Give you this energy to work on communicating and marketing and your immediate environment and your relationship with your siblings. And Mercury is going to enter the sign of Cancer, and Mercury is our mind, it's our communication. So with Mercury entering Cancer on July 5th, maybe your thinking and communication can be a little bit more about, love, maybe more about romance, maybe a little bit more about children, or hobbies or fun or pleasure, right? Maybe you think about these things a little bit more. Maybe you talk about them a little bit more. So that sort of thing. And this will be there till July 19th. Now, on July 13th, we have a full moon in Capricorn, right, Pisces? And Capricorn is your 11th house. And full moons bring completions and culminations and are also a point of clarity. So something completing itself or clarity coming through about your social circle, or the groups that you belong to, or your hopes, goals, and dreams, right? Maybe you're becoming more clear about, who your social circle is, who isn't part of your social circle, that sort of thing. Maybe you're becoming more clear about what your hopes, goals, and dreams are. Maybe you're completing something. Maybe you started a group, you joined a group a few months ago, and now you're, well integrated into that group. Things like that. But whatever this energy is, right, of completions and clarity, it's to do with your social circle, your hopes, goals, and dreams, and science, tech, and innovation, if that applies to you, Pisces. On July 17th, we have Venus entering the sign of Cancer. So up until July 17th, Venus is in your 4th house, giving you something positive connected to your home, your deepest emotions, your family, could be a physical home as well. But after July 17th, right, the positivity shifts towards your children, towards matters of love and romance, towards matters of having fun and pursuing hobbies and sports, right? Maybe you start a new hobby, maybe you have a new romantic interest in your life, maybe something positive comes about with your children, that sort of thing. And on July 19th, Mercury is going to enter Leo, your 6th house. So now, Pisces, your thinking and communication can be a little bit more focused on your diet, on your exercise, on your lifestyle, on your health, on your job, on that sort of thing, right? And that's that. And on the same day, we have Chiron going retrograde. Chiron right now is in your 2nd house. So wherever Chiron is, we heal in that area, but to heal, Chiron makes us face our pain. So it's a bittersweet healing. And when it goes retrograde, the intensity of that healing eases off, and there's a certain sense of relief. And for you, that's to do with your 2nd house of finances, right? That's to do with the 2nd house of value, self-worth, appearances, and skills as well. So some pressure easing off in these areas for you, Pisces, starting July 19th. Then on July 22nd, we have the Sun entering the sign of Leo, your 6th house. Up until July 22nd, the Sun is in your 5th house, really highlighting, illuminating for the past 30 days up till July 22nd, love, romance, creativity, children, hobbies, fun, pleasure. But after, right, July 22nd, it's going to highlight and illuminate and bring to focus diet, lifestyle, health, routine, job, exercise, that sort of stuff. And with the new moon in Leo on 28th July, new energy will enter this house for you, this house of lifestyle, this house of diet, this house of exercise and health and job and routine. And starting July 28th with the new moon in Leo, you will work on these themes all the way up till the end of August, right? And on the same day, Pisces, Jupiter goes retrograde. Jupiter right now is transiting your 2nd house. It has been since 10th of May, and there it is giving you blessings, gifts, rewards, and healings after 12 years connected to financial matters, connected to appearances, skills, self-worth, and values. And now it's going to retrograde. So the blessings and the rewards and the lessons will continue, but maybe to a lesser degree. And then the highlight of the month is that on July 31st, we have Uranus and the North Node meeting up, right? Now, this is a rare event, and this brings with it immense change. And for you, Pisces, this change is to do with your 3rd house of communication. Maybe some communication changes up things in a major way. Maybe you change up how you communicate, right? Maybe you change something connected to social media, or changes start happening connected to your social media, or something to do with your mind as well can change, or some change in your immediate environment and peer group can take place as well. And you'll start feeling the build-up of this change all of July. That will peak out on July 31st. So to sum it up, Pisces, right, there's a lot of energy this month towards the beginning part connected to love, romance, children, creativity, and towards the end, especially after July 19th, towards your health, routine, job, lifestyle, and exercise. The change that you're building towards is to do with your thinking, communication, social media, marketing, immediate environment, peer group, and siblings. So that's the month in a nutshell for you, Pisces. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, do hit the like button. You can always subscribe to my channel, and if you found it useful, do share it with someone you think might benefit from this. So now I will see you next month, Pisces. Have a great month. Bye.